Welcome to the St. Johns County Young Professionals Events number 2. So we've started this event to aid in talent attraction and retention throughout St. Johns County and help our business owners and our young professionals learn about the tools and resources available to them to grow as a professional here in St. Johns County. So we brought together a panel list of leaders throughout the region to talk about their professional development journey and the resources that they have available and different things that they've learned through their professional development journey. So we have Malinda Everson, the CEO of Habitat for Humanity of St. Johns County. We have Max Levanovich, who is the Senior Vice President with SouthState Bank. We have Mario Dipola, the Vice Chair of the St. Augustine Airport Board of Directors. And we have Darrin Eakins, the CEO of DuBlasé Whiskey and Small Business Leader of the Year in Jacksonville this year. So to start off, I wanted to let the panelists introduce themselves, tell a little bit about what they do and the company that they work for.
Well, you already introduced me, so they all know who I am. I have been the CEO at Habitat for Humanity here locally for 9 years. I also worked at a Habitat for Humanity in Michigan for 4 years. I'm truly passionate about the work that we do. We have evolved as an organization. We really started out as a grassroots, all volunteer-led organization where we built homes for people of lower income. Well, we've evolved as an organization, and we really built for the workforce now. Here locally, we've been in business for 35 years. We've built 200 homes. We are finishing up our 4th neighborhood development with 2 more in the works. We evolved from building 4 or 5 houses a year to 18 this last year, and looking towards building up to 30. We're really trying to respond to the need. We know people in the workforce in this community need an affordable place to live. I know all of you have probably experienced this. And why pay rent when you can be investing in your own future? A home is usually the first investment that you'll ever make, and we provide the opportunity for young workforce folks in St. Johns County to do that. So shout out to my team over here, Julie and Tom, if you want information. Another part of what we do, we have volunteers that come out and work. We do team building, or if you want to come out as an individual and just give back to the community, we have an opportunity for you to do that. You can come out and paint and hammer nails and just have a fun day giving back to your community, and they have information about that too. So I welcome you, to come get involved in what we do, and if you're interested in home ownership, we also can share that information with you.
Good evening, everyone. Max Levanovich, Market President with SouthState Bank. Have been with the bank 14 years. Been a great journey. Have been resident of St. Augustine since 2015, so 12 years out of those 14. SouthState is a commercial bank, regional size with large bank capabilities and small local leadership, decision making, which makes it fun for everyone on our team to be out there, be a resource to the local business owners, community leaders, and just the residents as they experience the growth in the county and go about their plans to provide for their families. I'm very humbled. My team is here. There are a bunch of them here. So if you've met a person from SouthState, no, you're not crazy. It's just many of them. So you might have met a few this evening. Again, it takes a team, takes a village to really provide the excellent service to the business community. We're fortunate to be in the position we're in. We talk about how fortunate we are to be part of all the growth. So excited to be here with you. Hopefully, learn a few things from the fellow panelists, and just be here for the knowledge sharing, and be there for the better of the community and for everyone's learning experience.
I'm Mario, and thanks for having me out. This is humbling to be in a group like this, so thanks, Ethan, for inviting me. I work for Gresham Smith. We are a 1,200-person architecture engineering firm across the Southeast. But more importantly, right now, I'm the vice chair for the St. Augustine Airport. I was appointed by Governor DeSantis in September of 2025 after there was some turmoil short term here, and really I think we've made huge strides in correcting some things very rapidly with 3 new board members in 2025 and then 1 more again this year. So we're the 5-person board. We are 4 of us appointed, but we are a 5-person elected board currently that oversees this airport, which is currently a taxing district, a special taxing district, and it's also able to, take land and other things. So it's really an important asset for St. Johns County. It's a relatively small revenue, $6 million a year airport, but it serves our GA community, it serves Northrop Grumman. They make the E-2s that follow the Navy ships right here. We have the FBO that is kind of people's first step into St. Augustine. So it's really an honor to serve. I'm the chair of the Advanced Air Mobility Committee and the chair of the Audit Budget Committee. And I'd say advanced air mobility is probably the passion that brought me here. If you've been following the news, Governor DeSantis announced last week that we will be piloting in the state of Florida actual air taxis this year. So we are phase 2A on FDOT's master plan. Of course, phase 1 being the I-4 corridor, phase 2 going north up to Jacksonville, and we're that kind of first step from Daytona to Jacksonville. So really excited to be a part of this airport and excited to talk to you all.
Good evening. I am Darrin Eakins, founder and CEO of DuBlasé Whiskey. To date, we are a small but mighty brand. We are distributed in Florida, Georgia, California, DC, Maryland, Virginia, and in about 40 states online. Outside of spirits, what we're actually known for is our model. So we call ourselves Whiskey with Purpose. And so we have a philanthropic side, the DuBlasé Foundation, where a portion of all of our proceeds goes to our foundation, which is advancement of STEM education. So I'm an engineer by trade, and so getting more students acclimated to STEM fields of study and wanting to pursue STEM is what we're all about. So while we celebrate, our brand promise is merging meaningful experiences with purposeful impact. And so while we're celebrating and having a great time with spirits, we're actually donating and giving to something more than ourselves. So that's DuBlasé Whiskey.
Awesome. So I also realized I forgot to introduce myself. So I am Aliyah Meyer. I'm the Business Attraction Specialist at St. Johns County's Economic Development Department, and I also started this program. So I'm a young professional myself, and I wanted to bring the opportunities that I have been given through mentorship and accessibility to job growth and professional development to everyone else in the community that I know and love. So to start out, I wanted to ask you all to talk about your first job and to talk about what is one decision you made that led to how successful you are today.
All right. My first job coming out of college, as I mentioned, I was an engineer. I worked for a company called Wabtec. It's railroad engineering. I enjoyed it, great time. What probably allowed me to be in this position is learning the systems in corporate. With those systems, I'm able to implement those into what we're doing with STEM and with the foundation and also with the whiskey. Obviously, systems and, absolutely, just being in the industry. I've been in the industry for 15 years now. I enjoy it, but for sure, systems, absolutely.
So my first post-college full-time job was a PE trainee with the Department of Transportation in Bartow, Florida. And that was June 12th, 2009. And I remember because I screamed for joy post-recession being able to find a job. Hundreds of applicants. It was not the highest paying job, but frankly, they could have just paid me enough to eat, and I would have been happy. So one decision, I don't know if it's unexpected, but I'd say accepting Christ and surrounding myself with good people. And that includes, thanks, like led me to meet my wife, to have kids, that I have. And, it's interesting that I see different trajectories of folks. And it's not the, I guess most exciting or whatever, but, it's just solid steps in my life that hasn't made life easy, but it's put me in a good position everywhere I've been, just solid. So I'd say those are the two things.
First job post-college, credit analyst for a small community bank. That's where I learned what banking is supposed to look like, what true community banking is all about. So I'm thankful for that opportunity. Got that opportunity as a recent graduate with a finance degree. So a choice of going in the finance field was probably a good one, paid off. But really, I want to take step back a little bit, where really the decision I made, or my parents made for me at 18 years old, or really prior to that, of sending me across the world. Originally I'm from Eastern Europe, Belarus, and so at 18, they said, "Hey, go try what this United States college experience is all about." I played tennis growing up, and gave me a competitive advantage. To get a scholarship and to come and really experience what life away from home is at 18 years old. Wasn't easy. My English wasn't as good. It's still not good, but depends on a day. But really that set me on a path to learn to just embrace the fact that you have to stay humble. And we're students throughout the entire life, right? I think that mindset was very, very helpful to realize earlier on, and then has carried me through all the opportunities ever since then. Thankful to be here.
So my first job was at a restaurant, and if anybody here has worked at a restaurant, it's very educational and humbling. That was in my high school years. And I'm one of those that had kind of this winding path. I went to college for a semester right out of high school, and then I was working at a law firm, which was very cool, and I thought I was good there. And after a couple of years, I was like, yeah, I need more. So I'm the one who went back to college in my 20s, and so the one decision that led me to really where I am now is I took a part-time job at Habitat for Humanity. I was intrigued, and I loved the work that they were doing, and it's part-time. I worked there for a while, and something that really changed for me, I would do anything they asked me to do, which in nonprofit world you have to wear a lot of different hats, but my boss was part-time. He knew he was only going to work there another year or two, so he gave me everything, and I took it joyfully. I was wanting to be where he was one day, so yeah, that was one decision that I made that really was life-changing for me, and at the time I didn't know it.
So the next question will be, what skill has had the biggest impact on your success that isn't listed on your resume?
I think the most important skill is adaptability. Don't complain about stuff, just take it on and do it, and be the one who volunteers to do the hard stuff at work. Don't be like, oh God, I hate that, I hate doing that, or just do it, because one, you will have favor with your boss, you will grow from it, you will definitely learn something, you will grow from it, and you probably won't be asked to do it the next time. You can give it to somebody else.
Yeah, I think it's humility for me. Growing up playing sports, you learn how to win and you learn how to lose. And if you don't know what a loss feels like, you haven't been playing hard enough, or you haven't put yourself in a hard enough room and haven't competed really. So I think that's it for me. Just always realizing there's more to learn. Never try to prove anybody that I'm the smartest in the room, or surround yourself with people who'll push you beyond your comfort level. And I think staying humble and just acknowledging that you still got a lot to learn, and you're not just the best product of yourself just yet. So that's been it for me, and has followed me ever since. It's tough to stay humble in certain situations, and but you continue to remind yourself that road is not over yet, or there's still things to improve. There's still people to help, and there's still common good to produce and collaborate on, and just there's always room for improvement.
Mine is not as good as adaptability or humility, but I'd say negotiating. Some of that's natural, some's honed. I'm incredible at math, Mu Alpha Theta in high school, national math champion, that sort of weird stuff. And I'm quick, and I'm cheap. I love a good deal, and I'm pretty assertive, actually. So through my MBA, I've kind of honed in those skills a little bit. I have numerous certifications, management courses, and then through mutual gains and negotiations, I've learned it's not always win-lose. Sometimes it's best to increase the size of the pie and then extract some value. In that case, everybody's ends up being a little bit better. So I'm bringing something to the table. I've gotten experience investing in real estate. I bought 22 acres when I graduated high school using primarily scholarship money. So I've kind of, and through the recession, bought my first house, and then kind of treated my homes as an investment and flipped a few houses. So I'd say negotiating is something that I think is really great. And if you can bring value to your company or to yourself, and advocate for yourself or your company, it's really valuable.
That's a good one. Mine would be resourcefulness. I didn't have a background in agriculture, didn't have a background in marketing, didn't have a background in branding, logistics, anything that requires, to have a spirits company. But what I did have was the ability to be resourceful. I went in to take courses at the University of London for global branding, courses at Wharton Business School with Penn on, business. And so what I did was educate myself, right? We have the mindset of if you really want to do something, you can. The information is out there. You just have to kind of want it. It won't be easy, but that's kind of the approach I took. I knew what I knew, but I didn't know what I didn't know. And so the fact that I reached out and sought that information, I think that's one thing that's, I would say, probably not on my resume.
Awesome, and thank you for sharing all of that. I will take all of those skills and add them to my resume. So we're going to skip ahead and we're going to ask a question that pertains to everybody in this audience. Everyone says networking is important, but what does good networking actually look like, and how does it advance you in the positions that you guys are in?
Networking is, for being in the spirits industry, networking is vital, it's crucial. Liquid to lips is vital, it's crucial. And not from what we do, we don't promote consumption, right? So you'll never hear me say, hey, try this, or you should taste this. If it interests you, I'm happy to explain, but I don't promote consumption just because that's something that I feel near and dear to us. But, with networking, there's a couple ways you can do it, right? Intentionality is all, as you could tell, it's something that's near and dear to us as the brand. Have a purpose. If you want to talk to somebody, there's good and bad motives, right? Have a good motive, right? Motive has a bad connotation, but there are good motives. And so if you have a good motive, reach out. Hey, I would like to introduce myself. I work at SouthState. I do commercial lending. Great, let me have a card. I would love to talk with you, have a meeting, right? And so it's just that mindset of having good motives, wanting to learn more, being eager being willing to ask questions, the hard questions, being willing to stand up, raise your hand, pass out a card when you don't know what to say, why to say it. Your boss told you to come. And so it's just that mindset of, having a good motive and just being willing to put yourself out there.
So I don't think it's wrong to want to get something out of someone if you're sincere and you're open about it. So, I'd say just be sincere. Relationships, they don't have to be clingy, fake best friend. You have something to offer others, and they may have something to offer you. And, frankly, it's something I have to remind myself of, being maybe more extroverted than engineers, but except maybe you, but more introverted than normal people. If I don't need something, maybe I'm there to make somebody else feel more welcome, and be a blessing to them. So be genuinely interested in others. This is an example, even me being here, Ethan, asked me to be here. I wasn't trying to get anything out of Ethan. I genuinely like Ethan. He does a great job. And, but, turns out Ethan also has connections that turn out to be helpful for me in my professional career. And it's not that anybody owes you anything. It's just that when you make a friendship, if you all ask me, hey, I need a job in maintenance at the airport, I can't really help you. I'm on the board, but I could introduce you to people, and if I know you and we have a relationship, I'm more likely to say, introduce you. And that's frankly just getting your foot in the door. It's not even a step in front of somebody. It's like a half step. I think networking is really important.
Yeah, I agree with everything that's been said. I'll go back a step and kind of reference the skill of being resourceful. What I've learned over the career, and again, it hasn't been that long, so yet to learn a lot. But what I've learned, what bad networking looks like, is going into a conversation thinking, what's in it for me? And anything else you do outside of that is not, will be some sort of form of good networking, and you'll develop your own way to do it. But really, as the time passes, as you gain more resources, as you gain knowledge, you have the ability to make connections between people who wouldn't meet or wouldn't connect in any other way, if not for you understanding what one person needs to be successful in their role, and the other person has to offer. You can make that introduction and be a value add to the person that you may not necessarily need anything from them, but they will remember that. And I think if you do that with no expectation of business coming back to you, over time, just establishing those true, genuine relationships, the business will take care of itself. And easier said than done when you're starting out the career, and it's important, and you have goals. And again, in sales, there are timelines, and January 1, it all starts from zero. So sometimes you have a little moment of desperation, but at the end of the day, the long-term relationships, being in it for the right reasons, serving others, helping others solve problems that they're dealing with, will come back tenfold. Just give it time and be patient. But that's from my standpoint, that's what's worked. That's what good networking looks like.
Oops. I don't know if I turned it up, turned it down, I don't know. I think good networking is really about relationship building and being curious about another person's story. It doesn't matter if you're going to get something out of it immediately. I think that everybody has a rich story, everybody has a funny story to tell, everybody has something cool in their life that happened to them, and I think that's where good networking starts. And I think follow-up also is really important. And I'm talking old school follow-up, like seriously make that lunch date, even if you're not going to necessarily get something out of them, or send a handwritten note. Don't just follow them on social media. Everybody does that, Networking, be curious about their human experience, because we are all in this together, and it's not just about our jobs.
So Max, this is going to be a question for you. What financial habit should every young professional start today that will pay off in 10 years?
it's a deep conversation, but in simple words, pay yourself first before you start spending money on living expense and anything you want in life. Make sure you automate the savings to the point where you don't know that money exists. It's done magic for me and my family. My wife, who is in the audience, I owe her a thank you for being in it with me for the journey, but she reminds me all the time whenever I get a pay raise, she says, "You can afford it." And I tell her, "No, we can't." Because I already set aside that pay raise. Every month, my checking account is at zero balance, and I'm living paycheck to paycheck. But I ensure that the 401k is maxed out. The HSA, the health savings account is maxed out. The Roth IRA contributions are maxed out. And whatever else I have, I put it as additional savings. We've been fortunate to have the career, the growth. This community has been very, very good to us, and again, we try to give back as much as we can and try to be part of the growth. But as you grow in your careers, as you hopefully make more money, and again your family feels like there's a little bit of extra resources, make sure to stay consistent with setting the money aside, and compound interest is real. It all adds up. As a young professional, you cannot afford not investing in the market. When the market grows 15 to 20% every year, if you're not investing, you're falling behind. The real estate investments, what Mario mentioned earlier, that's something that's helped us, our family, to get ahead and to really just gain options. And I think that's what it's about. It doesn't feel like savings or setting money aside is ever the right moment. You just got to do it and automate it to a point where you don't know it's there, and look back 5-10 years from now, and you'll be thankful you did it. And again, all those products that I mentioned, those are the basics. If you Google the steps, if you ChatGPT the steps, those are the ones that will come up. Doing it is a different thing. But it is powerful, and you just can't afford not doing it. So I think those are the steps. And the earlier you start, the easier it will be. The higher that and I'll speak banking terms. I guess the asset base, the net worth that your family has. So again, just be uncomfortable for the time being as you're raising your family, as you're starting out, and you'll be thankful for it later when you can look back and say, "Oh, I can actually breathe a little. I don't have to stress about it as much."
And Malinda, the next question will be for you. Homeownership feels out of reach for many young professionals. What's something people should know that gives you hope?
There's a lot of opportunities out there. We have 3 Habitat for Humanity homeowners in this room right now, Aliyah being one of them, Caitlin, and Lily. And I would be willing to bet every one of you are like, yeah, I can't buy a house right now, and they found out about our program. And there is that opportunity to start building that wealth, to build your investment. And like you're talking about, don't just go spend your extra money. Ooh, I got a raise. Ooh, I got extra. Invest in you. Invest in your future. And I think that's hugely important. And we do, as Habitat for Humanity, provide an opportunity for homeownership, a path for young professionals. And actually, my daughter also bought a home in this community where these lovely women live, and I got to spend some time there in the evening, and it's true community. There's a lot of young people, and I'm watching them going back and forth to each other's houses, and so, also look at where you're going to be living. See if it feels like community to you. I think that's fairly important outside of the wealth building.
Yeah, we do love our nighttime wine walks. So Mario, this next question is going to be for you. Many people assume leadership comes with a title. What's something you've learned about leadership that surprised you?
Relationships will surprise you, and the world's smaller than you realize. Treat people well, above and below you. A few other things. I mean, it's not that there's anything super surprising, but good habits and trajectories are really valuable. You'll see a lot of people cutting corners, cheating the system, maybe partying, doing drugs, cheating in one way or another. And those habits come back to bite, you know. They seem small, but, you know, doing solid things consistently, you can trace back a trajectory. And, you know, it's interesting. You never want to see somebody fail, but fast forward 10, 20 years, you know, 20-year high school reunion, and you look at like people that have made the wrong choices and it seemed great up front. Another one, do everything as to God and not on demand. Ethics matter, integrity matters a lot. Do the right thing with a good attitude, be bold, but be humble, be kind, love God, love people, and work hard.
And Darrin, the next question will be for you. What's something about being a business owner that social media makes look easy, but it isn't?
Scaling and growth. Growth because, I mean, social media it's entertainment first, right? Even if it's, if you're looking at a serious account, you know, they're going to do some form of entertainment to get you to look at the account, right? Then they'll educate you and provide, you know, whatever services or insight that they want to provide. But at first, it's going to start with with entertainment. What social media doesn't convey is the financial decision making that you had to do. You know, the long nights, the marketing plans that you spent all this money on and buying all this infrastructure, and then to get 2 likes, right? And so what social media doesn't show is that it's still working in the background. The algorithm is always working. So although you may have received 50 likes or you didn't go viral, social media won't show those things. And so it's more of it's a gut buster, right? It tries your pride, but in small business entrepreneurship, you just have to keep going. You have to keep posting. You have to keep staying engaged. Because at the end of the day, there's a group of people who control the algorithm. And so while you may master it for the first 6 months, in the next 6 months it's going to change. And so you have to stay liquid. So that's what I tell my group, stay liquid, always trying to find the new trends, always trying to find the new, like hashtags are out. Sound splicing is out, right? And so there's so many different things that are happening with social media, but it's very vital to business, right? And so we need it, but you want to use it in a way where you don't get influenced negatively by social media in your brand. It's easy to see what somebody else is doing and want to do that. I always try to say, stay in your lane. Stay focused, you plan for it, and just execute your plan. At the end of the day, you'll see where you are, and you'll realize you've grown way further than you would have if you chose their path. So social media, it can be very tricky, but it's very vital in business. So you just have to really figure out how to implement it in your business. I'll give an example. With spirits, let's say we make a cocktail video. Bartender's making a very nice cocktail, flips it up in the air, lights it on fire, all the fun stuff. At the very end of the cocktail, the bartender cannot push the cocktail towards the camera because it promotes consumption. And that's a regulatory law that we cannot do, right? And so you have to know all these fun, crazy things, or else you get flagged and you be on the naughty list. And so it's really understanding your lane, becoming an expert in your particular business and industry. But it's vital. You have to have it, but just become an expert in it.
And one last question that's going to be open to everybody at the panel. Imagine everyone in the room takes one action tomorrow because of something you've shared tonight. What would you want that action to be?
One action. I would say, and this may seem harsh, but as young professionals, I think we need this, right? Understand that no one cares, keep going. And I say that in a very harsh manner, but take it in the positive light, right? It's not that they don't care about you as a person or your business, but everyone has something, problems, or things that they're dealing with, right? And so, sometimes you just have to keep going. Find a way, make it till tomorrow. Find a way, push forward, keep going. And as young professionals, I would say that is a key. There's going to be days where you want to quit. There's days that you don't want to get up. There's days that you have to drive from Jacksonville in this thunderstorm to come talk. You just have to do it. Keep going, and that's what I would say.
Okay, so I guess I'm going to take it back and get churchy again, but go to church. That's like the number one. Just once, if you haven't, Search after God. And try to view the world through the lens of God, not the failures you'll meet. You're one of them. I'm one of them. People you meet at church or elsewhere, they are too. God loves them, so you better. He loves you too. Step one is uncomfortable. Going to church is weird sometimes, but what does it matter if you gain the world and lose your soul? If you already know Christ, don't be a weirdo like I am right now, but be bold in your faith. Because Penn and Teller, those magicians, he did a little YouTube, and he said, how badly do you have to hate somebody to not tell them, that Jesus loves them? He's a huge atheist, but how bad do you have to hate somebody to not tell them the good news? And then on the work side, be ethical and work harder than everybody else.
So as a banker on this panel, I'll preach the financial piece of it. Don't ignore your finances. Don't just forget about it and expect it to get better. Take ownership of it. What's worked for me personally, and we ask our customers to fill their personal balance sheets every time they come in for financing. It really gives a good idea of what your assets are, of everything you've earned, you've invested into, you've purchased over the years, and puts that against liabilities. And if that number is negative, when you subtract the two, you're trying to move it in the right direction. Over time, you will realize that you will be making better decisions. You will be thinking about investing money into assets that are appreciating and not depreciating. And what I've learned myself is at some point you lose the fun of buying a brand new car or the fun of the shiny objects because you're so centered on doing the right financial thing that will create freedom for you and your family. Those are the simple one step that I say. I've done it every year. I check my finances twice a year, make sure that the net worth is moving in the right direction. If it is, you're making the right choices. You're putting money aside. You're not investing. You're not spending money on things that, in the big scheme of things, don't matter and are purchased to impress others. And there's time and place for that, but might not be right here soon while you're still trying to establish your financial foundation. Just like with building a house, make sure the foundation is strong before you start raising the walls and the rest of the construction.
The advice I give my kids, not that they ever follow it, but sometimes they do, and a young professional I would give is, if there's that one thing that you've been mulling over or you've been thinking about doing, take a next step on it. Quit dragging your feet. Move forward. Take a little risk because you're not going to die from it. You'll learn something. I don't believe in full failure. You know, you will learn something from it and move forward. So bet on yourself, take a risk, and you're young enough to, no matter what happens, you're going to recover. So if there's something that really excites you, move forward on it. That's my advice for tomorrow.
Well, thank you to all the panelists. I have to say, I admire you all. You all are successful in your own individual ways. Some of you I've known for years, some of you I've met recently or just today. And I'm so grateful that you guys decided to share your wisdom and your expertise with this group. And I also admire all of you for coming and attending and deciding to be a part of your community and get involved and come learn and talk to people and engage, even if it's a little uncomfortable and awkward at first. So I hope you guys attend the next one. I'm going to give you guys some time. If you want some more food or drinks, go ahead. If you want to talk to the panelists and learn some more and ask them some questions, you're open to it as well. So thank you guys for coming, and the next event will be in October. We have the date set for October 6th at Wobbly Whale Public House, and we have more details coming soon. So thank you.